Yes, good morning. I'm Kara St. Louis. It happens to be Mother's Day in England, which means it's Sunday, and you are sitting in my little office this morning. Today, I want to talk about the workshops and the work we're going to do together. So this will go out on 13 later this afternoon or this evening. I want to absolutely make a note of all dates from now on that these are being recorded. This is part of that concerted effort to make sure things stay clean out there, you know? So anyway, what is it? The 26th of March, 2017. This is the very first time I've gotten this specific about the workshop. So if you hear it somewhere else, you will know where it came from, because it's rather unique. It's a blend of my lifetime study, lots of which is esoteric in ways that are only individual, that can only be gained through work with an initiate. So this is the pure stream here, which is not to say I'm the only one in the world who can bring you this. I'm just saying what I put together is a combination of a lifetime's work and a lifetime's experience, whether it's joy, sorrow, trauma, happiness, joy, ecstasy. It's all coming together for me. Clearly, this is what I want to be doing for the rest of my life, out on the road and in video and in books. Anyway, so let's get started. First of all, let's start with the premise that the human being evolves only two kinds of thinking. That should start some discussion. That's a cat on my roof. Oh, that's great. Yes, the human being evolves only two kinds of thinking. The first is purely logical. It is dead, linear, shadowy. We all know this kind of thinking. It's dependent on sense perceptions, which is what makes it so easy to mess with. And it's one that, until now, hopefully, has been regarded as ordinary and normal. While the second one that goes beyond logic and the rational, which is pieces, is rhythmic and wave-like. It's living. It's an independent thinking that's new. Yeah, it's new. And but accessible to everyone, and that will gradually evolve and become the most widespread kind. The work, I'm trying not to have to put my glasses on today, because that's annoying some people. Ooh, either put your glasses on or keep them on, or put them on or take them off. Obviously not old enough to need reading glasses. Anyway, the work that's come out of the research I've done since 2010 has also now come to rest, I hope. No, it's absolutely true. It's incarnating in a workshop or a seminar. I mean, I don't like those two words. I think those words have been used so much that they carry very little meaning. And this is, while it's lovely to be somebody who conducts workshops on how to make paper flowers, this is rather more serious than that. So, and rather more important and urgent. So I'm looking for a different word for that. I'll let you know. But it is, as of right now, a workshop or a seminar, a giving of tools for protecting and owning and remembering. For us, for you. The work revolves around a major theme and a semi-major theme. I don't want to say a minor theme, because neither of those things I'm talking about is unimportant. They go together, absolutely. But the major theme is an organic exercise. Some call it a meditation, but again, I find that term profoundly misleading in this day and age. This is not about no mind or those sorts of things at all, which is just a vacuum, which puts you at, in my view, puts you at risk. But it is an organic exercise. We're going to call it a meditation or an exercise. And we begin by viewing it according to the following viewpoints or goals. One of the major goals of our time is enlivening the heart-mind, right? I talk about the heart-mind all the time as being that thing which the adversaries cannot find it is the seat of the imagination, but they haven't got any way to access that frequency, so they can't find it. They can only try to distract us from using it. It is a renewal of the, shall we say the, or an esoteric path. We cover the field activity of both the soul forces and the adversarial forces. It is a self-sufficient dynamic meditation. Put like this, I can approve the use of the word meditation, I guess. The expression and recognition of organic living thinking. We have said there is artificial intelligence, well, I have anyway, and that means that if there is artificial intelligence, then there is also authentic intelligence, and that is us. That is the duality that AI is trying to force us into. We must recognize that so that we can head that off. Sorry. This is an example of clear definition of spiritual thinking, this exercise, and your own authentic thinking. How can I describe this? Well, left to our own devices, meaning the simple, authentic human arc across time in this plane, we have access to a spiritual path. It's healthy, it's clean, it's straightforward, it's human, and I think it's purpose-driven. It's a natural path of evolution for who we are, and I do sometimes wonder who or what we would be had we been left unmolested. This disturbance came, on the one hand, from the adversary, which began chasing us through the ages tens of thousands of years ago. This is that one battle I talk about that soared down through the centuries and the millennia, and the one that we are still in. And then we have the introduction of that which is hard to describe, but best represented by the Vatican, the cult of Dagon, the Caesars, with points of visible and intense escalation. We also talk about that. Many of us are pointing those things out when it comes to reverse engineering the trance. It's really important to illuminate the lie and then reverse engineer the trance, which is why I try to put a lecture ahead of these workshops the night before. It's not always possible, and I will devise this work such that it's not necessary, but that is step one. Job one is revealing the lie. Job two is reverse engineering the trance. And job three is to get some tools in your hand to take back your brain. Your thoughts are not your own, and we're going to fix that. We can fix that, I promise. I'm going to get this information out, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. So these periods of intense escalation, roughly 1,100 years ago, then 700 to 800 years ago, 400 to 500 years ago, and then certainly at the turn of the 20th century, which is what I was trying very hard to describe in Dangerous Imagination, Silent Assimilation, was this intense onslaught that was the 20th century. Each of these accelerations has been breathtaking, really breathtaking in its immorality and its depravity. And each time a new century is born, actually, it comes with a new assault. We'll start talking about that as well. At this point in time, however, new possibilities of self-development have arisen. This original route has become a roundabout route because of the onslaught, the attack we've been under. There is a second route, which is more direct. It's 4-hour times, but this path is steep, and it's arduous, and it's rocky. Both paths are still available to us. The exercises I teach belong to the first path, which almost no one knows about anyway, but are presented in such a way as to create a bridge that leads us over to the new path. We are, after all, the bridge generation, are we not? And they're just waiting for us to die. So we really, it's a race now. We have to get this information out and in a practical, workable format. Teach people how to do it. The exercises relate to the human soul forces. They relate to the nature of the human being, and they relate to the effect of the adversarial forces. Job one is to regain the integrity of our own thoughts. Not new information from me. I say that over and over and over. There is a dynamic exercise or meditation for that. It has to be constructed. It has to be constructed. This is the thing, individual by individual, as the result of an act of will by each person who takes this up. And frankly, if you're hearing this, you are being called to take this up, which you know. This is a large part of what my workshop is about, learning how to construct your own meditation based on the guiding principles. As I've said, it is constructed on the basis of organic living thinking. This heart-mind thinking, that's the seat of the imagination. There's the kitty again. Remember, the heart-mind is the seat of the imagination, and it in itself is resonating at a frequency that our adversaries can't see, much less locate. So we can make that strong without tons of direct interference. This is why they harass us like flies buzzing at our minds all the time to keep us in our other kind of thinking, our autopilot, our logic brain, which can be messed with through the fundamental senses, the 5 senses that they've taught us are the only ones that exist. So job 2 is to help develop and locate the heart-mind within ourselves and apply it. Apply it. This kind of thing is quite natural to us as humans. So once the will is engaged, the path is not easy, but it is familiar. It's very human. As well, within the context of the work we do together, we want to understand the anatomy of this meditation. This is my job. Yes, and we want to learn how to build it for ourselves, but we also want to talk about its effects. Over a bit of time, when conscientiously carried out, these things bring us to the threshold of the supersensible. Through this work, we will have wrenched control of our own thoughts back from entities which feed on us, and there are many. Some of them look human to us. I'm finding that out more and more as my work is used improperly. Pirates. Anyway, there are many, and they direct our energy away from our own power and path and onto theirs, like slaves, unwitting slaves. A bit more specifically, the structure we'll use for this exercise takes into account 4 levels of development in the human being and also manifests a regular, symmetrical, and rhythmic form. We build it for ourselves to be in harmony with the basic laws of living organisms, rhythm, polarity, intensification, and inversion, and they always use inversion against us. And when we have built a solid house on a solid foundation, we can practice this bit in about 5 minutes a day. But we have to build it. We have to build our own. So come see me and I'll show you how. When carried out in a manner suited to their own true nature, people achieve the remarkable effect of anchoring themselves so that they keep both their feet on the ground while at the same time liberating their mind and consciousness from chaos. Thus we arrive at the second part of our work together, an investigation of our own vision, as it is now and as it evolves after we work this exercise. So what do I mean by vision? I often speak about the imagination. The human imagination, for the billionth time, I'm sure, is the translator between the morphogenic field, which is pure potential, and the material plane. Our vision, when we learn to see it and evaluate it right in front of our eyes, this is the gauge of the authenticity of our own thinking. I'm going to work on showing you how to do that as well. The sovereignty of our own mind and imagination. We can place our own vision before ourselves easily enough and have a look at it, take our own temperature basically. But this exercise is the sword. It shines a light on how powerful we are and shows us where we've been captured. We can be fish food for entities all around us, dancing when they say dance, or we can free ourselves and come to know why we're here. It is the workshop. So, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be recording out at my garden, and we will talk about what it means to be sovereign. Because honestly, the sovereign imagination, it's exactly what I want, what I'm trying to say. And yet, I've had people say, "Kara, look, no one I know ever uses the word sovereign. They don't have any relationship to that." So we're going to build a relationship to the idea of the sovereign human being. Okay. So come on, let's get started, right? Off we go. I've been talking about the workshop for a very long time, and we're ready to roll it out. The next one is in London on the 9th of April. You may buy tickets at Eventbrite. I've got links to tickets all over both of my pages, so please, let's get going. And I'll be doing bunches of them in the States this summer, and then I'll let you know the dates and the places between now and then, or you can ask me to come where you are. I will come if you set up a space for this workshop. It's so easy. Listen, when I went to Australia, it just took one person, boots on the ground, rented a church hall for that lecture, and then put the word out across the chemtrail communities. It's a piece of cake. I mean, we have this idea that all of these things are so difficult to arrange, and they're really not. They're really not. So if you want me to bring the workshop to where you are, you just need to email me at worldlectures@aol.com. It's all one word, lowercase, worldlectures@aol.com. Now, I want to say a couple of things. I've saved the business for the last. Usually I start with the business, but I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to be in Amsterdam on the 22nd of April giving the Reverse Engineering the Trance lecture. So you could be there. On the 7th of May, I'll be in Marlborough with the Blood and Fire Gang. Mark Devlin, Maria Wheatley, and Sylvia Ivanova of the New Earth series. I could not be more stoked to have that woman on board. On the 8th of May, the next day, I'll be in St. Anne's at New Horizons, recording at New Horizons. And at this point, I'm scheduling more workshops in the UK. And I have one, I think it's on the 22nd of June in Marlborough. I have Reverse Engineering the Trance on the Friday, followed by the workshop on the Saturday. And I am checking into either doing a deeper look at the rest of this organic exercise cycle on the Sunday for those who are interested, or doing biopulsing appointments, which is about draining all of this out of your body. It's not just trapped in your mind, it's also trapped in your body. And it's all about freeing the human being. So there is a U.S. tour, mid-July through August. Right now, I'll just let you know, the first August date is at Ion's Earthrise in Petaluma, which is near Napa, on the 4th and 5th of August. Indeed. So there you go. I think that's it for today. I will see you in 2 weeks. I'm going to Germany this coming weekend to do advanced training in biopulsing. And so then I will be coming to you the following week. And sadly, I think I figured out how to turn this thing off without making everybody laugh. But let's see. Let's see. It never works, does it? It never works.